This is the story of Ganesha, also known as Vinayaka. Our story begins with the first mentions of this kind of entities, dating back to around 600 to 300 BC. 4 Vinayakas were demonic spirits who possessed and plagued humans. They created obstacles, caused nightmares, and brought misfortune of every kind and scale. They were simply malevolent, and propitiation was essential to deal with them. Appeasement rituals were necessary to ward off their harmful influences. Around the 4th century, he was integrated into the Hindu pantheon. He was appointed by Brahma and Shiva to be the leader of the Ganas and received the title Ganapati. The Ganas are mischievous and mighty celestial beings who serve as the loyal attendants and formidable army of the god Shiva. Though he was recognized as a deva, a divine figure, he still continued to cause obstacles and suffering if not properly worshipped. Rites for appeasement and propitiation were still needed, sometimes involving impure offerings like fish, meat, and wine. He remained a dangerous spirit, but his image transformed over the centuries into a super-positive divine creature. Later, around 650 CE, Ganesha appeared in Chinese Buddhism as a negative demonic figure. Vinayaka, the hinderer, an obstructive deity, an obstacle creator, who disturbs Buddhist practitioners, causes fear, sends bad dreams, and generally hinders spiritual progress. He had to be controlled, expelled, or even destroyed through mantras and rituals. He was feared as the elephant-headed spirit that hinders all vows. In that context, many people at the time believed an elephant head signified punishment for dire sins, a consequence of extremely bad, evil deeds, in addition to a horrific, hellish experience with tortures and fires. In his later Hindu tantric form, late 7th to 8th century, his evil demonic traits appeared in a more drastic form, including perverted preferences concerning sexuality and sanitation. Rites and offerings took place in impure locations, like cremation grounds, and included orgies, disgusting, unhygienic feasts, defiled leftovers, intentionally not rinsing the mouth for keeping the food scraps. Impure offerings like meat, fish, and alcohol were used. Rituals were also aimed to evil effects, like causing violence and harm, destroy enemies, gain power, using harmful or inauspicious substances like ape fat, corpse hair, or human bones. Some rituals were designed to delude, enslave, paralyze, or kill. He was typically depicted with a nude Shakti in an erotic pose. The main goals of this worship were the attainment of magical powers and worldly benefits. In his later form in Japanese Buddhism in the first half of the 9th century, he was called Kangiten, the god of bliss, or Shoten, the sacred or noble god. Nonetheless, he retained a basically evil character, well known for being volatile, demanding, and jealous. He was still bound by passions and was well known for his high irritability. If he felt neglected or offended, he was known to react quickly with anger and send obstacles or punishments. His nature was very demanding, and elaborate appeasement rituals were needed to avoid pain. If one followed the cult properly, with appropriate, albeit sometimes impure offerings, wishes would be granted in exchange. This even included immoral ones, like harming enemies. It was made clear that dealing with this deity would be as efficient as dangerous. In the later Tibetan Vajrayāna form, he still had this evil, negative character. He was supposed to cause suffering and had to be propitiated or liberated to avoid destruction. He was still the one to approach for harming enemies and gaining worldly wealth, pleasure, or success. His appearance thought wrathful and terrifying, often red-colored with multiple arms, 3 eyes, tusks, and a variety of weapons. Mahakala is considered to be a wrathful form of Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva of universal compassion. He tramples the demonic, evil Vinayaka to end the suffering from his victim. Mahakala is a protector of the Dalai Lama who praises Mahakala for trampling Vinayaka. The form we see worldwide today was primarily shaped by the later Puranas from 600 to 1300 CE. With many new stories, he ascended to the highest rank of a top deity like Shiva, even considered the Supreme Lord himself. Everyone loves him as he represents the joy of living, absolutely peaceful, positive, trustworthy, even a perfect companion for all children. This overwhelmingly positive image was finally established for the vast majority of Hindus in the 10th century. To be fair, there are also teachings that identify him as Avalokiteshvara, Mahakala, or other forms, comparable to some of the angry, scary, and mighty protecting, defending, demon-taming, or killing aspects of the high-ranking gods. Doubtless, he can and does grant wishes if he's worshipped properly. This includes solving issues related to demonic spirits, but all that doesn't make him a fundamentally benevolent power. Fascinating is his transformation from black to bright white. How is this even possible? What truly happened? Did he undergo such a radical transformation? While popular stories about his creation give the impression of a newborn being, that seemingly isn't the truth. The facts show he existed long before he became so famous in Hinduism. Or could all this simply be related to other, similar elephant-headed entities? Hard to imagine, isn't it? Honestly, would you let your kids play around with such a spirit? Would you trust a spirit with such a past? Why would any good-hearted person praise such an entity? I am not surprised about these findings on Ganesha. To me, they fit in the picture and make perfect sense. Hindu scriptures are appreciated because of the beauty of the stories and the wisdom and inspiration they provide. But what about the truth? Does that matter?